everybody. It's Shalan, and we're at the Posture Project right now. We're so glad to be here because we've been away for a couple of days because of our current circumstances of having to close our studio temporarily. So we're so glad to be in home base and so good to be seen, and I'm excited to do some yoga with you today. So I'm envisioning that my beautiful yoga community is sitting right here in front of me, sharing this class with me. So I'm glad to see you. So let's get started. Let's get in a comfortable seated position. And you can sit on height if you like. You can put blocks under your knees. If you're sitting cross-legged, you can always straighten your legs out. Put a bolster under your knees, or you can sit in a chair or up against the wall. You just want to be comfortable so that your spine's up nice and tall and that you're comfortable. All right, so lift your spine nice and long. Drop your shoulders and elbows in close to the body. And let's turn your palms to face up to the sky. And just rest. So with the inhale, we'll breathe in through the nose. The exhale will blow out through the mouth. So I'll call these clearing breaths. So we have the intention of clearing our body of stress and worries and fears. And it may feel good to close your eyes or look down to the floor in front of you without bowing your head. So we're blowing out all the stuff you've been holding on to, all the restriction, all the frustration, all the worries. Slow the breath down a little more. Take more time with it. So as you continue to breathe, slower, longer breaths, you'll start to relax your skin all throughout your body. So the most outer layer is relaxing more. You'll soften your hands and your feet. Let your sits bones get heavier to the ground and soften your legs. Spine floats up a little taller with this inhale. Everything outside of the spine is falling with the exhale. You'll relax your jaw and your tongue. It may feel good to start breathing through the nose now if you're ready for that. If you're settled down enough. If you still need the clearing breaths, and you continue to take those. Let's relax your eyes more. The backs of your eyes soften. The muscles behind your eyes relaxing. Let your forehead and your scalp smooth. Now, if you'll bring your awareness to your heart space, so the center of your chest or your full rib cage, let's just breathe into the heart. And think of these as expansive breaths, filling up the full chest with light and life force. Breathing into the left side just as much as the right and vice versa. So fill up your heart with light and energy. Every inhale, your heart's getting brighter and stronger. Now let's include the arms in this. So as you inhale, you're gathering light to your heart, filling your chest up. With the exhale, pour the light from your heart down your arms into your hands. And then inhale, the light draws back up to the heart like you're pulling it up through a straw. And the exhale, it pours back down the arms into the hands. Inhale into your heart. Exhale, it pours the light down into your hands. So we're just letting this light and this breath and this life force flow through your heart chakra, and your arms are an extension of your heart chakra. Your hands are an extension of your heart chakra. So we're letting this light just pour through your heart space. Inhale into your chest, filling it up with light. Exhale, pour the light down your arms into your hands. And feel your arms full of energy, feeling them more vibrant and alive. We're breathing in love and breathing out love, letting love move through you. Feel that sense of love within growing stronger. Now turning that sense of love toward yourself, toward this personality or this human that is you. And just breathe in love to the heart now. So just stay at your heart with your awareness. Breathe in love, breathe out love. Like holding you in love. Even allowing a sense of compassion for yourself. This heart has been through a lot. So we're holding ourselves in love and compassion. And as we pour love on ourselves, we can then share it with others, because we've replenished our capacity to love. So giving great thanks. Let's wiggle your fingers and toes. And take your time to switch your legs, switch your feet. Get comfortable again. If you need to straighten your legs out, it's okay. All right, so let's roll your shoulders back several times. As you breathe steady, long breaths. Now roll one shoulder at a time back. So I'll call these backstroke shoulder rolls. And drop your shoulders. Let's touch the floor to the sides of your body. You can always have blocks to the sides. Here, let's walk your right hand out wide and flatten that right hand to the floor or to a block. Now lengthen your spine. So we're not into a side bend quite yet. Think of a side extension. We're lengthening the spine, both shoulders down. Now lift your left arm up to the sky and spread your wings, spread your heart. Push down into the bottom hand, lift up with the top hand. Let your left sits bone anchor onto your supports or the floor and reach out through the top of your head. And just making space, breathing into it. Now with this left arm, let's start to circle it backwards. So forward and up, back and down. Forward and up, back and down. So just exploring your range of motion with your shoulder. If this is uncomfortable, you can do little small circles up here like this. No big deal. Or you can make the circles as wide as they want to go. Steady breath. And now reach your arm up over your head, extend out, and then take a side bend. So bend your bottom elbow and lower your spine to the right comfortably. Both shoulders drop down again. Good breaths. Keep your left sits bone anchored to the ground. Breathe into the left side of your ribs here, where you're creating the space. You can even bend your top elbow and kind of curl the fingertips on the side of your head to add a little support, if it feels good. Let's do another breath. Take your top arm up and let it drop down to your side, and then lift your spine. Take a big breath. And roll your shoulders back a few times. And fingertips walk out wide. Let the left hand extend out a little further to flatten that hand to the floor. Extend it out enough that you can drop the shoulders down, but your right sits bone is anchored to the floor. And then extend your right arm up. Spread your wings, spread your collarbones, lift and lengthen your spine. Right sits bone anchors. Solid breaths here. Making space in the rib cage, the diaphragm, the waistline, the shoulder girdle. The bottom arm is having an element of strength. Good breath. And then let that top arm start to circle forward and up and back and down. Forward and up and back and down. Explore your range of motion there. Remember, you can do small circles if you need to. And then when your arm comes up over your head, we'll extend and then bend your bottom elbow into a comfortable side bend for you. Right sits bone anchors to the floor again. Both shoulders down. Top elbow can bend, and wrapping your fingers around the side of your head here for support if needed. That also allows a deeper stretch through your upper tricep on the upper arm. Good breath in. Good breath out. And one more. We'll let that top arm release up and let it drop down to your side, and then lifting your spine. And a couple of good breaths here to center. And again, rolling the shoulders back a few times. Let's give our legs a break. So straighten them out, rock them out well. So loosey-goosey legs. You want to shake out the joints there. Circle the ankles really big. Annie says hi, everybody. Circle the other way. Okay, so you can come off your blankets if you're sitting on them. And let's keep your legs out long in front of you. Just lean your hands back behind you, fingertips point out to the side if that's okay. And lift the heart up to the sky. Shoulders pull back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, opening the front chest. You can drop your chin closer to your chest, or you can lift your chin up toward the sky, or anywhere in between. This is mostly about the front chest right now, so breathe into that place. Good breaths. One more. And dropping the heart. And let's bend your knees. Grab your knees with your hands. Inhale, spine up tall. Let's bow forward and hug the knees softly. Drop your shoulders. Just try to soften your belly. You want this to be a restful place. So if you're having a hard time letting your spine lean forward, move your feet more forward, or you can even take your feet wider, okay, so that you can just lean forward. Be relaxed in your shoulders, soft in your jaw, relaxed in your belly. We're opening the back spine, back ribs. So breathe into that space. We inhale, spine up slowly. It's up to you. You can keep your knees bent or straighten your legs. Let's lean back into your hands again. This time though, let's step your hands another half of a hand length back further, turning your fingertips backward. Same for the other hand. So all the fingertips are pointing backward. So this time the hands aren't straight down from the shoulders, they're back a little bit more, so behind. So deeper stretch through the front shoulder in front of the arm. And let's lift the chest up, pull the shoulders back, either chin drops or lifts or anywhere in between. Find your happy place for your neck. And good deep breaths here, opening up the front heart. If you haven't guessed yet or noticed, this class is about heart opening. So feeling the love, feeling the love, feeling the compassion for yourself and for others. And this is also really helpful for good posture too. If you tend to slouch, take another breath and drop the heart. And we'll slowly sitting up. If you need to shake your hands out, that may feel good with some clearing breath. So inhale through the nose, exhale blowing out the mouth. One more. Then let's take your feet a little wider than your hips, or even a lot wider. Hands go on the inside of your knees. Inhale, spine up, and then bow forward. So this allows your spine to drop forward a little more than the first round. So rounding your back, breathing into your back ribs. Good breaths. Try to soften your belly. One more breath. And we'll inhale, spine up slowly. And let's sit up. You can bring the soles of your feet together now. Now here, if the hips are tight, if your knees are super high up, sitting on a blanket is helpful. Okay, so that takes the pressure off of the joints in the legs. So you can sit on 2 blankets or even 3 or some other kind of height. Let's pull in your heels close to the groin as best you can. You can always put blocks under your knees here. Let's hold onto the ankles and lift the spine, or you can also grab under the toes. Start to press your feet together, press your knees down, and move the heart forward. So it doesn't matter how far you go. Let's start out really kind though. Okay, so we're not trying to go into our deepest pose quite yet. So we're just lifting the spine, moving the heart forward. We try not to collapse the ribs here and the spine. Keep it long, move the heart straight forward. Push your feet gently together, knees pressed down. Good breath. So we're just opening up inner thighs. Good breath in. Good breath out. And inhale, spine up tall. We'll bring our knees back together, straighten out your legs, spread your feet a little wider, and rock your legs out again. Good clearing breaths. Okay, so make your way to tabletop on your hands and knees. And let's do a round of cat and cow. So inhale, head and hips lift. Exhale, head and hips tuck. Inhale, sway your back. Exhale, arch your back up to the sky. Just keep moving with your breath. You're going at a pace that's comfortable for you. Just mobilize the spine, free up any tension it may be holding on to. And we're also boosting the immune system. So important right now. It's always important, but we're hyper aware of it right now. Let's do another breath. And neutral spine. Okay, we're still in tabletop. So with the inhale, left arm extends out wide and up. The exhale, face the floor, just curl the arm underneath you. Inhale, swing the arm wide and up. Try to stack your shoulders as best you can. Exhale, face the floor. Just move with your breath. And when you're lifting your arm, push down firmly with the bottom arm so that we're engaging both sides of your back muscles to spread your wings. We're also getting some good rotation in the spine and the ribs, and you're letting your head turn with your ribs too as best you can. Strong breath through your nose if possible. Let's do one more. And then let that left hand slide along the floor behind your bottom arm and lay your left shoulder down to the ground, left ear down to the ground. So your right hand will anchor straight down from your elbow. So push down with both arms into the floor to turn your ribs to the right as best you can and breathe. Now, if you're really jammed up here, things just are not in a happy place, we want to put some support under your shoulder. Not your head, but your shoulder and arm. So adding height there can create some space for you, letting your head be on the floor, your shoulder and part of your arm is on the blanket. So we breathe there, real expansive breaths into the ribs. Keep a gentle pressure, pushing your arms into the ground. Your head can turn gently to the right as well. You're going to pull that top shoulder back toward the wall behind your head. Trying to stack your shoulders as best you can. So we don't want to collapse it forward, in other words. We want to pull it back. Take one more breath. Then we'll relax. Right hand pushes firmly into the ground to come back to forearms. So forearms on the floor. Take a few good breaths here to a neutral spine. Just want to let our body process the aftermath of that twist. So when we come out of twist, we get lots of good energy flow, lots of good, the fluids of the body rush back into the organs in the torso. We're just allowing that to process and assimilate. When you're ready, you'll straighten your arms again. Let's do the other side. So right arm swings up and wide with the inhale. Exhale, face the floor, curl the arm underneath you. Inhale up, exhale down. Remember, when you're lifting your top arm, push down firmly with the bottom arm so that you're engaging both sides of your back. Strong breath through your nose. You can go at whatever pace is comfortable for you. Let's do one more. Then we'll take the top of that, the back of that hand, slide it behind your bottom arm. Lay your right shoulder onto the ground or to a blanket, right ear to the floor. So your left hand grounds to the floor directly under your elbow here. And then start to push with both arms into the ground to deepen your twist, turning to the left. Deep breaths into the rib cage. Try to soften your face, your jaw. Maybe pulling your left shoulder back a little bit more, trying to stack your shoulders better. Letting your breath create the space in the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles between the ribs. Let's do another breath. And soften. Left hand pushes firmly into the ground to bring your forearms back to the floor center. Neutral spine. Good breaths. Neck is neutral with the rest of the spine too. Another breath. Okay. So let's take your blocks, if you have some, and we're coming up into a standing tabletop. So we bring the blocks kind of right beside the knees on a tall setting. Dig the pads of the toes into the ground behind you. All you're doing is pushing your hands and feet down into the ground to straighten your legs. Then bring your feet straight down from your hips. Bring your hands straight down from your shoulders. So just like a tabletop, except our legs are straight. And then flat back. So we want to gently firm our lower belly in, spread the toes out wide and ground them to the floor, and start to lift your kneecaps. Then reach your spine forward out the top of your head, creating space between your vertebrae. And breathe. So you might feel a stretch in the backs of your legs right now. You might not. It doesn't matter. We're just getting into the rootedness of this and the groundedness. So a stable, strong tabletop here through the legs and arms. So feel your center line, so your spine is straight and long and right to the center of your mat. So we're just aware of that centeredness in our body. Now, if you don't feel a good hamstring stretch or a stretch in the backs of your legs, then lower your blocks another level. Straight legs, long spine, shoulders away from the ears to expose your neck. A solid breath. Try to relax your eyes and your face. If you're not feeling a good hamstring stretch anymore, lower your blocks another level. Straight arms, straight legs, flat spine. Good breath in. Good breath out. So if you're stressed out at all in your upper body, then give yourself a little more height. Okay, you can take your blocks taller. And start to walk your legs out. So bend one knee as you straighten the other. Lift one heel as the other one grounds. Just walk your legs out. And breathe. Now keep your feet on the ground and just walk your knees out. So that's going to move your hips more. So we're just exploring that. Now let's bend your right knee and straighten your left leg. Lean into your left foot and shift your hips to the left even more. So it looks like this. So we should feel a stretch in the left hip and the glute, maybe the hamstring a little bit, an IT band on the side of the leg, even down into the low leg. And upper body is just comfortable. Good breaths. So we're leaning our weight into our left foot, shifting the hips to the left a little more. Now let's switch sides. So left knee bends, right leg straightens. Lean your weight into your right foot and shift your hips to the right a little bit more. So we're just diving into the glute stretch on the right side. Might feel it in IT band, hamstring, into the side of the low leg or the back of the low leg. Take another breath. And slowly straighten both legs. Okay, so let's bend both knees. Drop your knees back to the ground. Now we're lifting the spine up. So we're up on your knees. So we want our knees straight down from the hips. Okay, so good alignment that way. And we want our tailbone to point down, belly in. And we're bringing your palms together at your heart space. Lean into your left knee and step your right foot forward. So I'll call this a 90-90 lunge. So both knees are at 90 degrees. So back foot, You can either bring the top of your foot to the ground or the pads of the toes to the ground, and you do what's awkward for you, okay? So let's get some new information to the brain. So do what's awkward for you. And then let's push both legs down into the ground and do what I call as a scissor squeeze. So front leg grabs the floor and pulls back, back leg grabs the floor and pulls forward. So we're creating contraction there, and then firm the belly and lift the spine. Still hands to your heart. So we've got a good stretch in the front of the left thigh and hip, in the hip flexor, and our legs are getting strong. So we feel this front hamstring working because that foot is grabbing the floor and pulling back. Now if it feels good, you can reach your arms overhead, palms face forward, pull your arms back. Think of like you're up against a wall. Keep those legs strong. This is a balancing pose, so get your eyes fixated right in front of you onto something that's not going to move, and soften your gaze. Lift the belly, lift the pubic bone, lift the heart, lift the breastbone. Another breath. Shoulders down. Bring your hands back to your heart. Now keep enough strength in your core. Switch legs with grace. Left foot forward, hands to your heart, palms together. Do the same thing you did on your back foot on the other side, and then push both legs down into the ground. Do your scissor squeeze, and then firm your lower belly, lift your spine up, shoulders drop down. Try to take the pressure out of your head as you breathe. You're letting the legs do the work. Your foundation does the work right now. If you want to engage your arms, you can lift up to the sky, back up against a wall there, an imaginary wall. Shoulder blades down your back, breastbone lifts up, belly pulls in, lower belly. Keep that front leg strong. Let's do another breath. And bring the hands to the heart. And both knees come to the ground. And let's sit into rock pose. So that's when we sit on our heels here. Now, if this is not a happy place for you, you've got lots of options here. So if the ankles is what bothers you, you can put a rolled up blanket or towel, pillow under the ankles like that to make some space, toes touching the ground. If the knees are bothersome for you, you can put a flat blanket behind the knees, and that might be enough. So wedge it in close to the crease of the knees, and that might create enough support there. If that's not still a happy place, you can always put blocks between your feet, wide, and sit on them. Or you can even add more height onto that with blankets, pillows. And if this still is just not a happy place for you, then just sit on your butt, legs crossed, or legs out in front. Just to sit down to where your spine can be up tall. We're just taking a moment to get grounded and to get settled again. So solid breaths. Let your hips get heavy. Lower belly gently firms in, and let your spine float up. Shoulders drop, elbows drop. Let's soften your jaw. Just taking a moment to feel the earth underneath you, being present in your now. You're starting to feel the peace within. You're starting to feel the calmness taking over, or your focus, like you're getting focused and calming your mind down. Let's exaggerate the breath now. So on the inhale, swell your belly big. On your exhale, squeeze your belly strong into the spine. Now, if you're pregnant, don't do this breath. Just keep it easy, long breath. Or if you're on your heavy days of your period, just keep the breath easy, an easy, long breath. So otherwise, you inhale, swell the belly big. Exhale, squeeze the belly strong. Strong breath through your nose if possible. building some heat. We're stoking the digestive fire, getting our digestive organs activated. We're also clearing out stagnant energy or fear from our core. Let's do one more breath. And then easy breaths again, slow, long breaths. Soften your body, long spine, shoulders drop, elbows drop, soften your head. Just be present with what is. Feel that energy flowing through you now. You might feel a gentle pulse of energy, or it might feel like you can feel your blood flow through you. You might feel more heat in the body. You might feel like a stimulated calmness. Try to soften the scalp and the forehead. Okay, so let's lean forward, drop to your elbows, lift your feet up, circle your ankles, and circle the other way. Okay, so we're going to come into that standing tabletop again, so grab your blocks. All we're doing is pushing your hands and feet into the ground to straighten your legs. Bring your feet under your hips. This time though, turn sideways to where your feet can go wide on your mat, and heel toe your feet out comfortably wide. Now, if you don't need blocks anymore, once you go wide, then you can lose them or lower them. So feet are parallel with each other, toes face forward, hands right under the shoulders. Now, keep your legs straight and just shift your hips straight to the left. So it's not a real big movement, but we're deepening the stretch on the inside of your right leg. And breathe. Shoulders gently pull away from the ears to expose your neck. So this is helping our root, our foundation, opening up the legs. So that's important in these times now too. Wanting to feel more love, more compassion, and to feel more rooted and grounded into your truth, that you're safe and that you're okay. Everything's okay. Our foundation has been quite shaken recently, so we're just wanting to bring awareness to that and bring love and compassion to that too, as we find our feet underneath us again. Okay, so let's shift the hips over to the other side, over to the right. Keep the legs as straight as possible. Deep breaths. It's not a big movement, but a pretty good stretch. Soften your teeth. Soften your eyes. Okay, so hips back to center. Start to bend your left knee and then bend your right knee. And if the joints are uncomfortable in the legs, adjust your feet accordingly. Like I was a little too wide for this, so I had to bring my feet in a little closer so my knees and ankles are happy about what I'm doing. So just bend one knee, lunging to one side, then bend the other, lunging to the other side. We're just going side to side here. So we can walk our hands back and forth here to add a little more support for our torso. We can have our blocks, walking them back and forth, just starting to warm up the legs even more or activate them, getting them strong, and also creating space. We're doing it. I'm so glad to be here with you. Okay, so next time you lunge to the left, stay there and tuck your tailbone, lift your belly. So we don't want to flare our sits bones out. We want to lengthen our spine really well, and deep breaths. Your hands are supporting you comfortably. You've got most weight in your feet though, so lean more weight into your feet. So this is really challenging your strength of your legs. Take a good breath in, good breath out. Let's shift it over to the other side, so bending the right knee. Get your hands supporting you comfortably or balancing you. Lean your weight into your feet more. Tailbone tucks, belly firms. It's not that we're trying to round our low back, we're just trying to straighten it out more. If you have a tendency to sway your back here. Try to take the pressure out of your head, push the feet into the ground. So we don't have hardly any weight in the hands. It's all in your feet, feet pushing down. Good breath in. Good breath out. And back to center. Good breath in. Good breath out. Okay, so let's walk your feet back in again. If you need your blocks under your hands, use them. And then bring both knees to the ground. Sit into rock pose. Sit on your heels if you can, or find a comfortable resting position. Your spine can be upright and you can relax. So good breaths. Drop the shoulders, drop the elbows, the hands just rest on your legs. So let gravity take hold of you again, softening and settling. At the top of your head open. Let your face relax. Unclench your butt. Let your thighs and low legs relax more. Just long, slow breaths. Feel the earth underneath you. Get grounded. Annie, can I have a time check, please? I don't know when I started. So I have 12 more minutes, so to speak? Okay. Thank you. All right. So lean forward again to your elbows. Circle your ankles out. Circle the other way. Okay, so we're coming to tabletop. Bring your knees together. We're crossing our right knee behind our left, so the knees touch the floor, and spread the feet wide. So here we're going to sit between our feet behind us. So as long as the knees are okay with that, you can always put height under your hips here. So you can put your blankets behind you and sit down onto your blankets or the floor between your feet. So the intention here is to stack the knees as best you can. Okay, so from the front it looks like this. Okay, so this is cow face pose, or the lower portion. So if your body, the reason we would sit on height is if your knees or your hips are really uncomfortable, or if your spine is not straight. So if you've got one side of your hip lifted up, then the blankets help balance out your spine and your pelvis. Okay. Now if that's still not comfortable, you can do deer pose instead, and that's the one where we do the pinwheeling of the legs this way. So we've got 90 degrees in the front leg, 90 degrees in the side leg here. All right. So I'm going to stick with the cow face pose for right now though. And we're sitting, and you can either hold onto the front top knee, or you can hold onto the soles of your feet. You want your spine to be up nice and tall. Drop your shoulders. So take really good breaths here, getting grounded. So hips get heavy, shoulders get heavy, let your ears fall down. Good breaths. We want to try to soften the inner thighs. Let them relax. Same for your glutes and your calves. Now this can be your pose here, and you just stay here and breathe. If and when you need a little bit more, keep your spine long. Start to move your spine forward, hinging from the crease of the hip. You can always bend your hands to the floor in front of you or onto blocks. You want your sits bones to stay settled to the ground or the support underneath you. Think of lower belly pulls back as your heart moves forward. Shoulders relax. Good breaths. So this is what it looks like from the side. If you're in deer pose, this is what it looks like here. So you have those two options. Breathing deeply, so we're getting really good stretch in the glutes and outer thighs. Let's take another big breath. Next inhale, lifting the spine. So you can either, if your knees are okay with it, you can rock forward and uncross your legs, or you can uncross your legs first and make your way back to tabletop. So either way, we're going back to tabletop. Maybe a drop to elbows, shake your legs out. Good breaths. Maybe a full body wag, loosen things up. And then back to tabletop. All right, so tabletop, knees come together. Now we're doing the other side. So other knee comes behind the other one, because I forgot which one we did first. Okay, spread the feet wide. Then we're sitting between the feet. You can always sit up on your blankets. You can always take deer pose. So you can always lift your hips and stack your knees a little better. Ground your hips well. We want our pelvis to be as balanced as possible, so that's why we would use support. And either grab the soles of your feet or the front top knee here, and drop your shoulders and elbows. Good breaths. Try to soften your inner thighs and melt into gravity. Let the top of your head open, jaw eases, ears drop. Now if you want to start folding forward slowly, gradually, you'll go there. Moving the heart forward as the lower belly pulls back. If your low back doesn't like this, you can grab the floor in front or put your blocks under your hands. Because if you're straining here, we need to support ourselves so that we're being kind and we're not tweaking the low back here. So take the pressure out of your head as you breathe. Take a good breath in. Great breath out. Take one more. can always push your hands into the floor in front of you to sit up. Take a few breaths. You can either rock forward to tabletop, or you can uncross your legs and come to tabletop. Everyone drop down to elbows again. Circle, shake your legs out, pardon me. Maybe do a full body wag. Oh, that felt good. Okay, so it's time to relax. So you do want to take some time to let your body process all that we've done. So let's just take a full corpse pose. Of course, if your body is asking for something different, then please honor yourself, okay? So if you like to put cushion under your spine or your head, then you give that to yourself, or if you need some height under your knees, you give that to yourself. We want our spine to be long, legs long, arms long. Hands are about a foot away from the hips, palms face up, and just lean back, fall back, do the nesty plunge. Soften everything. So we're wanting the breath to be restful but present. The body is heavy and soft. Just let gravity pull on you. Surrender as best you can. Imagine that your body is making an indentation in the support underneath you. You're so heavy. We take any tension out of the glutes and the inner thighs. Soften the calf muscles and your feet. A really satisfying breath. Try to soften your low back toward the ground, releasing your belly. And feel your ribs get heavy. Let them spread wide against the floor, shoulders falling back. Allow your arms to get even heavier, palms of the hands soft. Relax the throat and the neck. Soften the jaw. Let your eyes sink into your head a little more. Forehead and scalp smooth. Allow your ears to fall back. And as you rest, you're allowing gratitude to just overcome you. Not taking for granted your yoga practice or anything that you have become aware of what you take for granted in your life. Just allow gratitude. So grateful for this breath. So grateful for this body. So grateful for your yoga practice. So grateful for your health and well-being that you enjoy. So grateful for the incredible abundance that you enjoy. So grateful for the love and support of those around you. So grateful for your gifts and talents. So grateful for nature. And in times like these, returning to nature, returning to the breath, returning inward is what saves us. It's what keeps us sane and keeps us from being reminded of what's important and what is true. Let your body get twice as heavy, twice as soft. If you need to pause the video to just stay here as long as you want, please do. Otherwise, let's deepen your breath. Wiggle the toes and fingers. Stretch or move in any way that would feel really good for you. When you're ready, you'll roll over onto your side. Please support your head with something. A couple of good breaths. And your top hand pushes to the ground in front of you to lift yourself up into sitting. Just come into a comfortable seated position. So when you're ready, bring your palms together at your heart, centering your energy field. And become aware of your spine, your center line, and breathe up and down your spine. So just imagine a column of light surrounds your spine, and your breath moves through your spine like a ball of light, up and down like an elevator. You can think of this, your breath and this ball of light, as massaging your spine and your nervous system. Bringing just another element of comfort and nurturing. So I thank you so much for joining me today. I am so grateful for you spending time with me, and I'm so honored. So I thank you, I love you, I can't wait to see you. Namaste.